Hello and welcome to this Call the Shots Director's Cut. I'm Mike from Jellyfielders and today I'm joined by Kim Wymer. Hello, Kim.
Hello there. Good morning, Mike. Nice to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
Nice to be seen. You're more than welcome. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Just doing what I normally do. So yeah, it's just been okay. So thank you.
Good to hear. On that note, please tell the viewers more about who you are and what it is that you normally do.
Okay, so I'm Kim Wymer and our company's called Happy Days Coaching. And what I do is I help people from all walks of life to regain that inner spark of happiness that some people may have lost. And I do this by incorporating simple tools, simple techniques that's going to help the mindset switch from negative to positive. And I've been doing this for the last 8 years. And I believe it's really important to feel good, okay, so and enjoy this journey of life that we're all on. I believe that's really important, and I do believe also that people can get back on track with their happiness because I am proof of that. So that's what I do.
So then, was something in before this last 8 years? What was the event that kind of changed you onto this path, or you talk about your experience there?
Yeah, there was. So it was probably around 2011 that I had a massive crash in life and I lost absolutely everything. I was I had a bit of a problem with drinking. I was unfocused. I was making wrong decisions in life. I was miserable. I was unhappy. I'd always been quite an introverted type of personality and I hid behind the drinking because that was my Dutch courage and that helped me to come out of my comfort zone, if you like, every now and then. And yeah, basically, I was so unfocused, I was making wrong decisions, and I just lost the plot. Really, I lost everything, and went through a divorce. I lost my family to other countries. I basically hit rock bottom, and that is hitting that rock bottom is what woke me up. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have got to change myself, whereas before my language was, I've got to change everyone else around me. It's their fault. I blame the world. I blamed everyone else. And really, in reality, once I understood the scientific side of it, it was me and I had to change me. So that was the turnaround.
I think certainly having that self-awareness where how were you able to recognize that you were at the bottom and to turn it around? How was that?
How was I able to recognize? Funnily enough, I don't even know if I recognised it until my sister, who moved to Australia, she sent me some material on positive thinking, and I looked into it. And I also had people say to me as well, Kim, you've got to be more positive. And I thought, yeah, I know I've got to be more positive, but I didn't know how to be positive. Because it was my upbringing, my persona, the people around me, my mindset, everything was all I knew, really. So positive thinking was just a bunch of words to me. So I started to Google it and look into it, and I started to read all about positive thinking. And then I realized that, oh my goodness, it's a mindset thing. And I didn't understand about quantum science or the whys and hows of how your mind works and how we're all connected to the universe, and that is what woke me up, really, the quantum science side of it. So that's what I started looking into more and more of, all the positive thinking books that were all saying the same sort of thing, Mike, but they was explaining it in all different ways, because we all like to learn in different ways, don't we?
Absolutely. And I guess if you can turn yourself on to a way of thinking which almost forgives yourself for negative feeling and feeling bad and falling into the cycle of negative reinforcement of your own behavior and doing
Mm,
bad things to feel bad because you think you're a
mm,
bad person, therefore you think you must
mm,
feel bad. And if I thought I was doing this for any other reason, I'd be crazy.
mm.
And when you forgive yourself that behavior,
Yeah,
you can have that almost like an out of body spiritual
yeah,
experience and
yeah.
realize, well, actually, it's a choice at the end of the day
Yes,
between looking things negatively and looking at things positively and realizing it's all the same thing. It's just
yeah.
how I'm choosing to perceive it.
Yeah, that's right. And that's come to light now with all the personal development that's going on and lots of coaches, but back then, 9, 10 years ago, you never even heard of getting yourself a coach and, personal development. It was all very new back then. And it was like the habits that our mind had, we didn't have that awareness,
Yeah.
especially in my upbringing, in my environment. And, we didn't have that awareness at all. So I was not cast aside, but thought of as, oh, Kim's losing the plot.
Yeah.
She's changing. What's she doing? What's happened? What's happening to her? Because I was trying to learn and study and think in another way, when everyone else around me was like, Kim's gone mad. So
When you step outside of that normal kind of prescribed path that we're all supposed to go on and how we're supposed to behave, you suddenly become an outlier, and we don't have the tools necessarily as a society to understand that expanded consciousness, perhaps. And so,
yeah,
yeah, you can be seen as strange. It's almost not. It's normal to be sad and depressed and to hit rock bottom. That's fine. What's unusual is to try and step out of that and
yeah,
go, laterally in a
yeah,
different direction and think about things
yeah,
differently. I mean, by
yeah.
all accounts, you should be very proud of how you've turned things around in your own life. What are the things that give you the most pride in your professional work?
What gives me the most pride is being part of a collective community that is helping to spread out positivity to wherever we can. So I joined, I read a book many years ago. The first ever book that I read was called Love Life Live Life, by Sue Stone, and I actually grabbed onto that book, and that was the first book that I read because the lady on the front of the page looked like my family. She looked like my sister and my mum. So that's why that was a law of attraction thing in itself back then, of resonating with wanting to read that first. And she explained quantum science, quantum physics, how the mind works and how the universe works so simply, that, anyone can understand it. And I thought that was amazing. And then I became part of the foundation. Then I trained to become one of the positive empowerment coaches all those years ago. And we are growing and growing. There's a big community of us, and we get together on our Skypes and our Zooms, and talk about how can we help, how can we pass it forward, what can we do next, how can we help other people really to wake up to the bigger picture of life and become more positive. Because it's not fair that there's so much negativity in the world. It's like a conscious collective, and that's our mission really. So I feel proud to be part of that community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's, I mean, there's words that get banded around like awakening, and the idea that people have to be woken up to the concept of, higher spiritual being, and the fact that we all come from the cosmos and we're all connected by human consciousness. There's only one human race, and if anyone tries to win it, we all lose. We're all in this together,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we're
yeah,
all the same. Our personal
yeah,
experiences are different,
yeah,
but
yeah,
how we use
yeah,
memory and how we hold on to emotions and how we react to situations is universally the same, because it's all biochemical
yeah,
reactions to
yeah.
stimulus.
And we know that, Mike. We know that, yeah. But there's many people out there that still don't know this, still
It's
don't realise this, or it's not in their awareness.
it's too
There's still
far.
many.
It's too far away from the, you know, neoliberal capitalist idea that you have to spend money and survive, and you have to buy things to be happy, and anything outside of that is, hooey. But alas,
Yeah, that's
here on a business
instant.
and a
Yeah,
business related conversation, but
yeah.
it all
It's
makes
right.
sense.
Instant gratification,
And you can only
isn't it?
achieve through consuming, and almost like you have to try and get one up on people, as if you having more means someone else has to have less. And
Mm,
that's fine,
mm,
because
mm,
having more means you're better than people.
mm.
But obviously that's a very shallow, superficial,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
disconnected
It
way
is.
of
It is. It is.
achieving happiness, at the very least.
It's right. Yeah, totally is. It's not all about that. It's not all about consumerism and things and stuff. That's secondary. That
Stuff is
that used to
good.
be.
Let's not
Yeah,
get
of
down on
course.
stuff. It's great to have
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But it's not constant. It's just like instant
Mm.
gratification, and then it's not long. It could be days or hours or whatever before you want that hit again.
You get
It's
that
making you happy for
dopamine
a
spike.
while.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it doesn't
obviously.
fill the hole in your soul ultimately.
No, I don't. In my experience, we all believe different things, but in my experience, um, when I lost everything, I didn't care at the time, you know, because it's things, it was stuff, and it can be replaced. So it's not having that attachment to things and stuff that you know, that was the realization that I had.
And then you
You
realize
know?
it's people that can't be replaced,
Yes,
and it's
yes,
people that
yeah,
is all really we have at the end of the
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. That's right. People and experiences
Absolutely,
um
absolutely.
matters. Yeah, yeah, it matters.
Difficult lessons to learn, but I guess, you know,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
people who can guide you onto these tips. In that respect, would you have any top tip for people who come to you for your services?
Yeah, my top tip, as always, is being grateful, Mike. Because as I said, people take things for granted. People take people for granted. People take anything for granted. If you just imagine, you know, whatever you're grateful for, you might think, oh yeah, I'm grateful for my laptop, I'm grateful for my bed, I'm grateful for my home or whatever. Say if it was taken away,
Mm.
how would you feel then? That's when it really hits home. Say if it was taken away and you lost it. So that's like a deeper thought, you know. So it made me feel extra grateful for everything, every single tiny little thing in my life. So that is my top tip, and a lot of people take that for granted and don't even think about it, you know, especially people in our lives.
Well, I can certainly say that I've been guilty for almost all my life for taking things for granted, um, and especially relationships. And again, it's because you tell yourself a bad story about yourself, and you just think, therefore, that, you know, people have to put up with me because this is how I am. But really, that's just you setting yourself down in the first instance by assuming you can't be better than that. You can't be worthy of someone's unconditional love, and therefore you don't have to test them every time with, you know, disruptive or negative behavior.
Yeah, yeah. And it's about not attaching ourselves to people as well. Because, you know, it's good to have that sense of freedom and to give other people freedom as well. It's like non-attachment, you know, it's like being free yourself and letting things go. It's like we need to let things go and something else new will come in, you know. So and tell ourselves as well our positive self-talk. Oh, good stuff happens to me. It's all rigged in my favour. It all goes well for me, you know. It's going to work out fine. It's our self-talk. Yeah, and I always attract brilliant people into my life. You know, it's our self-talk.
Vibrated on the right frequency of positivity.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's vibrations, frequency, and energy. We're just like human radio stations,
Well,
really.
we're meat bags powered by electricity. That's all we really are. And when you generate
Yeah,
electricity, there's energy that, you know, falls off of that. There's radiation, and of course,
yeah,
you know, energy can't be destroyed. It can only be, you know,
yeah,
transformed and channeled elsewhere.
yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah,
it's all bouncing around inside of us being negative, if we let go of that, then, you know, like you say,
yeah,
something else can come in and replace it, and that endless
yeah,
supply of
totally,
positivity.
totally,
Easier said
totally.
than done, of course, but
Well,
obviously,
yes, of course. And our entrepreneurs, business people know this about positivity. Otherwise, they wouldn't, you know, go forward and, you know, find their purpose and do what they love doing and have that trust and knowing that it's going to happen. Yeah, entrepreneurs, well, brilliant. Yeah. But in outside of the entrepreneurs business world, it's not, you know, massively common knowledge. So,
I guess it takes a certain kind of mindset to want to go, "Oh, I'm going to set up a business, and to heck with, you know, all the possible problems it could be. I've got the will and determination to get through it. There's got to
yeah,
be a route to that
yeah,
energy, and it starts with
yeah.
the positive mental attitude and a positive
That's
self-image.
totally that's totally right. It's about letting go of all the self-doubt as well, because oh my God, I was the queen of self-doubt and I had
Yeah,
no self-acceptance, no confidence, you know. So that was my main thing, really, breaking out of that,
and at the
pushing
end of the
myself
day,
forward.
doubt is something you can leave to other people to have about you. You don't need to generate that for yourself, because other people will be more than happy to take that role instead.
That's right. That's right. Easier said than done, as we said earlier.
Talking of roles, you're not just very much in a positive mindset space. You're also an artistic person, human as well. You're an illustrator and author, I believe.
I am. I am an author of my own personal journey, my own personal journey of transformation. I wrote about my journey of how I went from negative to positive. Am I allowed to show you the book on the screen?
Go ahead. Now's as good a
There you
time as
go.
any.
This is it. This is called Out of the Shadows. It's on Amazon, or it's on my website, kimwymer.com as well. It's my personal journey, and it's a big eye opener. And that's another thing I feel really proud of, Mike, because I didn't like school. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't do very well in school.
It's not for
You know, I
everyone.
didn't have the opportunity to go to college or uni or any of that. But it was having the trust in myself as I, found out about, universal laws of nature, and trusting in yourself and getting over myself, and realizing that, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I can attract the right people into my life. So I had to take the baby steps in the beginning to attract the right people to me, and I did. And when you get that happening to you, the belief gets deeper, and then you think, oh, I did that, it happened, what else can I do? And I absolutely I loved art at school.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do anything with it because again, I doubted myself, doubted my capabilities, until I met a lovely lady called Karen G.
Friend
Yeah,
of the show.
my amazing friend. She's so brilliant, and she's a children's book author, and she was looking for an illustrator, and she asked me. We got to talk to each other, and she found out about my life and what I used to do, and she said, "Can you draw dogs?" And I said, "Well, I will try." So she did like the way that I drew dogs, and especially her little dog Dodger. And yeah, so we got together, did a book. I think it was about 4 years ago now. It might be a bit longer. And we had how I became Dodger Dog. I've got it here, this one, but this is
Very
the
good.
Spanish version. Yeah, how I became Dodger Dog. And now we've got 10 books, Mike. We have got 10 books, and they're ongoing. And I absolutely love drawing the pictures. So yeah, that's my other thing. I
It's all
love
hand
drawing and
painted as well.
painting. They're all hand painted, yeah. And at the moment, I'm thinking now, what's the next stage? I want to learn digital art
Mm-hmm.
next. So that's my next thing to learn. So
Fantastic.
yeah, feeling proud about that as well.
Fantastic. Well, with all the books, between all the books and everything else, how is it that people can support you on your journey?
Okay, so support me on my journey. So if you would like to, you can catch up with me. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Happy Days Coaching, Instagram, at Kimmy W31. I've got my own YouTube channel. My book's on Amazon.co.uk. So that would be a brilliant support. And also with the Dodger Dog books as well. Dodger, bless him, he's a real dog. He's got a sister called Shay. They're doing a walk. They're doing lots of walks at the moment for charity, and they've got a Just Giving page called, I think it's just type in on the Just Giving page, Dodger Dog, and please help to donate, because they're raising money for Bart's Hospital, and it's all about giving back, helping others, and that's what life is all about, helping as many people as we can. So that would be a brilliant support as well.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
thank
we'll help
you.
everyone find those out by including links in the description and all the
Okay.
supporting material around the video. In the meantime, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today, Kim. I'm feeling more
Oh,
positive just from this just 20-minute chat. Absolutely.
you just got to raise the vibration. That's when all the good stuff comes in, Mike. It's all about the feeling good.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's been all mine. Thank you much indeed, Kim. Take care.
Thank you.